Okay, it's July 25th, 2014. We're in Holy Sepulchre Cemetery in East Orange, New Jersey. We're in the old section, and we're right at James Olvaney's plot. Reason I'm here, there are 14 people buried in this plot, and there's just no recognition of any of them. So I'm going to go down a list in chronological order of who's buried here. First is James, our great-great-grandfather. He died in 1866. Second is his daughter, Catherine. She died 2 years later in 1868. The next two are Ellen Farley Olvaney and her daughter, Ellen also. They are the wife and daughter of James Olvaney Jr., the son of James and Margaret. The next one is Margaret, James Sr.'s wife. She dies in 1881. The next one is James, would actually be the third, the son of James Jr. He dies in 1887. He is living with his aunt, Catherine McDowell, because around 1880, James Jr. and his sister Mary Ann go to Chicago for whatever reason. Ants in their pants? I don't know. The next burial is 1890. It's Mary Loretta Olvaney. She is the daughter of Dennis and Rose Devine Olvaney. The next two are Mary Ann, that goes to Chicago. She marries a George Talcott. They have 4 children. 2 of them, Hazel and George Jr., are buried here. That's in 1892 and 93, I believe. The next one is who I call Uncle John. John is the senior child of James and Margaret, the oldest. He dies in 1910. He was never married, but when he dies, he leaves a will to his brother Dennis of $1,300 in 1910. That's an impressive amount of money at that time. The next one is Dennis Olvaney, our great-grandfather. He dies in 1927. After that is Rose Devine Olvaney, his wife. She dies in 1937. The interesting thing about her is there is actually a death notice in the New York Times about her. Why? I've never been able to figure out. There is a branch of the Olvaney family that had become very prominent in New York politics. The one, George Olvaney, was a Tammany Hall judge. Whether we are related, I have not found any relation yet. The next one and the last one are Dad's Aunt Margaret. She died in 1943. And Aunt Jane, or Jenny, Aunt Jenny, she died in 1967. So you have burials here for over 100 years, 101 years. Imagine who has stood at this spot. From the people back to Ireland, all the way up to, I guess, maybe when we were little kids, maybe we were here at the funeral. I have no idea. Now, the other reason why I came to this cemetery today is when you turn around from the Olvaney plot, just go here and look to your right. Make a 180-degree turn. You will see this stone over here. Rose Devine, when she gets married to Dennis Olvaney, in her marriage certificate, lists her father as Owen Devine. When she dies, she lists her death record says, her death certificate says, father's name Patrick Olvaney, mother's name, or Patrick Devine, mother's name Mary McQuillan. So this has always been a great source of confusion. Who is her father? Was it a Patrick Owen or Owen Patrick? I guess it's possible, but at the time in the 1850s, there was an Owen, a Patrick, and a John Devine that seemed to be brothers. In 1860, in the census, Rose is living with Patrick Devine, but in 1870, there is no Rose with Patrick, but there is a Rose with Owen. Is it possible just because the family, Patrick Devine, everything I've been able to find out, was a very poor person. The family just was very poor. Couldn't find nothing about them other than they are buried here in separate unmarked graves, Patrick and his wife Mary. I'm just trying to take a picture of the grave. The other great thing about this is Owen lists, if you can read this, it says, erected by Owen Devine in memory of his beloved wife Rose, of parish of Erney, County Cavan, Ireland, who died June 3rd, 1872, age 40. Rest in peace. As you walk around, it lists Owen, and this is the great part of this one. Owen Devine, born in the County Cavan, Ireland, died July 9th, 1912, aged 80 years. May his soul rest in peace. Esther Devine, which is his second wife, born in the County Meath, Ireland, died April 10th, 1950, aged 80. May her soul rest in peace. That's all the writing that's on this stone. It's a beautiful stone. Owen never had any children, so I guess for his own, he put a Celtic cross, or Celtic cross on the top. Just as the question will remain: is this our relative? I believe it is, and he tells us where the Devines came from. And knowing what went on when people came over, I believe that's where the Olvaneys came from, County Cavan, Ireland. So that's the two reasons why we came to this part of the cemetery. This is the old section of the cemetery. If you look over here to the right, at the end of this row, Grove Street is behind you. At the end of the row is where all the priests are buried in this cemetery. So that's how you know this is the Way of Angels, and that's how you know where to come down to look for these two graves. Again, Owen Devine, born in the County Cavan, Ireland.